Welcome everybody to the first episode of my coaching series, which is called Coachino, and today we have a Barik game, and it was the first one that was sent 1080p 60 FPS. Now I don't mind if you send me footage that is lower quality in the game, as in you have lower graphic settings, but it does need to be 1080p for me to upload on my channel and have the quality there on YouTube. It's not so much like the visuals, it's about the quality of the video. And if you do want to send me a clip, if you do want to send me a link, DM me in Discord with a file on Google Drive or something like that. Anyway, let's get on with the game and some coaching. So we've got a really odd lineup on both sides right now. We've got two healers and two frontliners and a flanker on our Barik side, Reventric, and on the enemy side we don't have a healer at all and just a single tank with three damage characters. How this will work out? Personally, I don't think that the Fernando is going to have an easy time getting onto that point and staying on there alive, but the damage on the enemy team might be enough if they're aggressive to push our Reventric team off the point. Either way, they're both not normal lineups, and we'll just have to see how it'll work out. On Reventric's side, they do have quite a bit of damage coming from Ruckus, and with the EV because of the blast damage, and they probably aren't going to pick up blast shields, they probably will pick up Haven. And interesting here, Barik has taken, well, he was looking at taking Master Riding 1 straight away, but I don't think he actually took it. He hasn't taken an item yet. Just swinging around his gun, why not? But yeah, talking about the lineup again, it is going to be hard for that Fernando to keep on that point, especially with both Barik and Ruckus on that point, with Ruckus using his Q and getting that his Q onto his allies, which is 50% damage reduction. Something worth mentioning in this match, I have watched little bits of it, and this is before the nerf on Barik, so he is slightly better. He's got slightly higher damage on his turrets, and also his F ability, his escape, has a lower cooldown. So he has bought Master Riding, which is pretty good on Barik. Basically, it allows him to set up his turrets early as possible on that point, so that he's ready to take on the enemies. I think in this situation as well, setting up on the point is quite important early, as it'll really block that Fernando off, and setting up and getting that damage out is quite a big thing. So just doing general stuff here, hitting that Fernando. And like I said, the Fernando without heals is going to have a hard time this game. And he's put a turret in front of that Grumpy Bomb there. That was an interesting play. He did put up the shield to stop it from hitting him though, which is okay. He could have just walked behind that crate behind him and it would have just dodged it completely. And I don't think they were taking that much fire at it then, so maybe he was waiting on the cooldown, but as we see there, it did actually cool down for him to use it, although, and he did block it on the side where people were trying to flank through, so he did okay then, chasing down the Victor. The enemy team seemed to be a bit split up, to be honest, and without that healer and without a second tank maybe could have worked for the enemy team, they are struggling to get onto the point. And here you can see a little trick with Barik. You can put the turrets on top of the payload, which is always quite fun. And yeah, just a lot going on here. The bonking down to the EV. It was just, he was really out there. He may as well just let himself die straight away so he could get back and respawn for another fight. The Fernando here actually is pushing out too much on his own. He doesn't have any support, and without a healer, he's doomed. That was just a waste. Honestly, on the enemy side, there's a bit of random play here. And again, the Cassie's caught out by being so close up to the fight and not really setting up a line of defense with her allies. Although Barik getting caught out there. Sometimes when the payload moves forward, you think that you're actually covered by the payload because it does block Grumpy Bomb and things. It'll move slightly forwards and then you won't be covered anymore. So I think that's what happened there. You did actually escape then. It was a very good dodge against the Victor. It's always worthwhile using your dodge ability. If you see those targets below your feet light up, then you know that's the time to dodge. And just generally doing everything a tank should be, putting down his turrets as often as possible. And I don't think he needed that ultimate there, but it has got them the point. But that means that they don't have the push. But as I've said before, the Fernando and their team, the enemy team, does seem to be struggling a lot in this game. And what are they saying? I'm not boosted, baby. What's that about? I'm not even sure what that chat means. Good job. Very fast round, okay? I'm not sure what that means at all. He's trying to type something out. Nice job, well done. But so you see, that's nice to put down some positive encouragement for your team. I think like having a positive attitude in a game all the time, or trying to boost people up that are being negative, helps like the team cohesion and how they play. Because if you're frustrated, you're gonna play worse, and nothing's worse than having really frustrated teammates. And noticing that your healer's doing a lot of work for you is very nice. I actually missed out on that, so he must be getting a lot of heals, which is probably something we should watch out for. Actually, that was a good dodge there as well from the ticking time bomb from our Sky on the enemy team. And the Victor has picked up the Ruckus. This might be a fight where they struggle, but with 2 healers here, and I don't think the enemy team has taken too much Cauterize. We'll have to have a look if he presses tab to see what items they picked up. Really, they should be picking up Cauterize, and maybe the Fernando has, because he just had that reduced healing there. The Barik probably shouldn't have gone in then, just retreated again, waited for the rest of his team to get with him, especially that Ruckus who's on the left hand side and now alone, and he went in alone as well, which was a bit of a mistake. Sometimes when this sort of happens, when the push fails, you want to wait for your team again, because there might have been a chance to come back here. If he'd have run away, he could have regrouped with that Ruckus and then had the chance to push back onto the point there. But I do think that, again, without the tanks and without the healer, they're going to struggle to push this point on the enemy team, so it's probably going to go in the way of our resident Barik here. Just putting down his turrets, making sure to take anyone out that comes. You can actually see where the line from the turret goes, and that's where the extra damage is going to be on your blunderbuss. So it is worthwhile looking at where the laser on your turret is pointing and which character it's pointing at, and trying to take them out, as you'll be doing a bit more damage to them. But although it was obviously a good idea to go for the Cassie there and just take them out, as they are a squishier target than the Fernando that was actually on the point, and the Fernando just is seeming to be going in as a headless chicken at the moment. And without the heals, that headless chicken tactic isn't going to work, matey. This time you've started to run into the Grumpy Bomb there, but he had enough time to get away. There's an interesting tactic. These are always the most boring parts, where you're waiting for the enemy team to come back. And he put up the shield there to block the Grumpy Bomb, but I really think that was a waste. Like, he didn't need to do that. Like, his team should have been just getting behind a payload car or behind a crate or something. They had enough time. It wasn't like it would have affected them. So, and no, he's put up a shield here. That works actually. Fernando using the ultimate there. Not sure entirely why. The problem with the Fernando ultimate is you want to be with your allies. Otherwise, it doesn't have that much of an effect. The biggest part of it is shielding your allies and stopping them from taking damage, because then they can put out the damage. But if you're alone, it doesn't really do anything. And has he picked up Death Dance? No, he hasn't. Wrecker. Okay. That kind of works against the Fernando, and the thing is, in this game, they don't have a healer, so Cauterize isn't the biggest option, and probably the biggest thing that he keeps going up against is the Fernando shield, so Wrecker does work in this situation. He could have gone with the extra Master Riding to just keep getting on the points, but again, he's not dying that much, so he doesn't need to worry about getting back to the point, and he's got his ultimate up, but I'm glad he's saving it now, because there's 12 seconds, and it's going to be very hard for the enemy team to push, especially, as I've said, they've only got one tanker and no healers. Interestingly, though, that the healers in this game have been able to stay up so long, it doesn't, like, I think, did Cassie Q then, or did the left click do some Cauterize there? I'm hoping that he'll tab, so I can, or shield tab, so I can have a look at what the enemy team have got on that items. Maybe I shouldn't do this live, so I can't pause, but I think I just saw, in that very short glimpse of the enemy items, some Cauterize there. And he's going to go for Wrecker 2. You know, that works. In this situation, when you've got 2 healers, you do wonder whether Rejuvenate might work out, as you'll take even more healing. But again, with the Cauterize, it does pretty much counteract that Rejuvenate. But with 2 healers, it could be an option. And their whole team actually has their ultimates now, and I think this is going to be game, this push. I can't actually see the time, so I'm only guessing, but this looks like it's all over. With everybody's ultimate, you got Hexafire, you've got your Barik ultimate, you've got everything to go down on that point. And Barik at the moment, very fast, he's going to get onto that point straight away. I don't think Fernando has taken Master Riding, or at least not the same level as our Barik. I'm not sure whether the Barik needs to use his ultimate straight away on the point there. And also, the Meldamba uses ultimate as well at the same time. Like, if there's nobody on the point, you don't need to use your ultimate straight away. Really, the Barik should have saved it then, just in case something else had happened. Like if the enemy team had been a bit more organised, then it might have been a trouble. And my phone just went off there, but hey ho. And look here, like the Barik's just been taken out by that ultimate. It wouldn't have had so much of an effect if he'd had his ultimate though, and he didn't really need to use it because they had the point control anyway. They've got 2 tanks. They didn't need to use that straight away. I think ultimate timing is one of the big things in the game. Like ultimates aren't the be all and end all, but still timing them right is a big way to win or lose a point. But with the 2 tanks, they are able to take the points again. That shield was sorely needed on the Ruckus because he was about to go down. And they are going to hold this point, and I think that is it. That is game victory. That was actually very well played, and partly because the enemy team was a bit of a shambles, and also the picks and the meta there was very odd. It didn't really stack up. Without the healer, they were in trouble, and the Fernando was being too aggressive without that healer. Let's see what the play of the game was. This was when he put down his ultimate on the point here. And did he need to put it down? I'm not entirely sure. He dashed 2 people on him, so perhaps this is... I had 3 people on him actually. That was a triple kill, so props to him. That probably did push the point there. But like I've said, on the siege points, they actually had the massive advantage there as a tanks. And you can see here, 56,000 damage. He did the most damage there. But with the nerfs, it would have been slightly reduced now. But he still did very well. And he got some friend requests out of that game, so they obviously thought he did well as well. He did the most there, 25 eliminations. On the enemy team, they had a pretty shambolic showing there, although the Bomb King did a lot of work with 40,000 damage. That's quite interesting, actually. But GG, that was an interesting game to watch. I think, actually, probably picked up more on things that the enemy team did, or his allies did, rather than the Barik in this game. I hope that this video has added some tips or some sort of insight into playing the game that you might not have thought about before. And I know this coaching is a bit improv, but hopefully you've learned something, or you found the video interesting at the very least. What do you think about this sort of coach style? And if you have a video that you want me to coach or do like a commentary over, then please come onto my Discord and DM me a link on there. And basically I'll just do one of the videos that I pick out, and personally, it needs to be 1080p and 60 FPS, as that is the quality that I want with the videos. In some ways, it's actually better if you post a bad game and not a good game like this one that the Barik has posted, because then I can pick up on things that you might have done wrong, and maybe you want to see what you could improve on some of the characters. Anyway, thank you for sending this one in, and hopefully this will be a series going forward. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. If you thought it was rubbish, give it a dislike. Subscribe for more of my content and more coaching. And thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, everybody, Joshino.